Hello everyone. Today we are continuing with the class 9 geography chapter number 2, physical feature of India. In this chapter, in this video we'll be mainly talking about the major physiographic division. Okay, so first of all I want to tell you what does the physiographic means. Physiographic means when we are dividing the Indian landmass on the basis of its physical feature or physical characteristics. Okay, so here we have divided the Indian landmass on the in major 6 physiographic divisions. These are in north we have the Great Himalayas, then we have the northern plains, in west we have the desert, then in the south we have the plateau, coastal plains and the highlands. Okay, so these are the main 6 physiographic divisions. So first of all, here we will be talking about the Great Himalayas. You all know that the Himalayas are very important for us because from Himalayas we get many medicinal herbs also. Okay, many important trees are there. Okay, then this Himalayas is these are the sources of the many rivers which are useful for the irrigation and for hydroelectricity. Okay, then we all know that the Himalayas are also they act as a barrier from the invasion also. From the ancient time we have seen that many invasions could not took place in our country because of these great Himalayas. They were acting as a barrier in the northern part of our country. Okay, and these Himalayas are also responsible for means having the monsoon rains in our country, which we will be studying in the means 4th chapter of our book. Okay, so here we will be talking about first point that these these Himalayan mountains, they are geologically young and structurally old mountain. As I have discussed this thing in my previous video also, that when the Indo-Australian plate was collided with the Eurasian plate, so a kind of a compression was took place between the geosync line, and which made this mountain a fold mountain. Okay, so structurally we can say these Himalayan mountains are the fold mountains, and as we all know that these fold mountains, they were formed much later than the Indian peninsular part. So that is why they are called the geologically young mountain, and the structurally fold mountain. Okay, now these mountains, they run from the west to east direction, and means the distance means which they cover is about 2400 kilometer from west to east. Okay, but their width also varies from the west to eastern part, because in the west part their width is about 400 kilometer, but as it moves towards the eastern part of our country, so it's narrow down. So in the eastern part of the country, the width of the Himalayas is about 150 kilometer. Now we also saw different altitudinal variations there in the Himalayas. As we see that in the eastern part of the country, we saw the many highest Himalayan peaks were there. Like the world's highest peak, the Mount Everest, is also there in the eastern part of the Himalayas, and the peaks which are there in the western part of the Himalayas, they are less means heighted than the eastern part of the Himalayas. Okay, so because of this we found the altitudinal variation. Now what is the reason behind the altitudinal variation? Because when the Indo-Australian plate collided with the Eurasian plate, so first it was collided from the eastern part, and then the western part was collided. So that is why this collision, the eastern part of the collision, took place first. So that is why from this area we found more heighted fold mountains here. Okay, now next we'll be talking about that here we have divided the Himalayan ranges on the basis of the longitudinal divisions. Okay, so these are mainly 3 longitudinal divisions we have made. First is the Himadri, Himachal and the Shivalik. So as you can see, there are 3 lines I have drawn in the in this map. So here the first line is called the Himadri ranges, the middle line is called the Himachal ranges, and the last one line is called the Shivalik ranges. Okay, now you must be thinking that why it has been written the longitudinal division. Now longitudinal division, because in my previous chapter I have also already told you that the longitudinal means the vertical lines and the latitudinal means the horizontal line. But here all the ranges, they are horizontally, they are running parallel to each other. So why ma'am has written, or why it is being called the longitudinal division? Because longitudinal, I have told you, these are the vertical lines. Okay, so that is why we are discussing about all these ranges vertically. Okay, so first we are talking about the innermost mountain ranges. Then we move the middle, and then we talked about we'll talk about the outer ranges. So that is why we are talking about the vertically, discussing about the vertically. So that is why it is being called as the longitudinal divisions. Okay, so the first range, the uppermost range, is called the Inner Himalayas. Why it was called the Inner Himalayas? Because when the Indo-Australian plate and the Eurasian plate, it collided with each other. So if you are sitting on the Indian peninsular plateau landmass, so the mountain which will form first, which will collide, the part which will collide first with the Indo-Eurasian plate, will be the innermost. That will be the first range. Okay, so that is why it is being called the Inner Himalayas. This is called the Inner Himalayas, or the Himadri, or the Great Himalayas. Okay, so these Himalayas are the continuous ranges. As you can see, there is no breakdown between any this range, means no breakdown is there in between the ranges of this in this range. It is a continuous line is there, so it means there is a continuous mountains are there in this range. So that is why it is been called the continuous range. Okay, now next is the loftiest peaks. Now in this range, you will find the most loftiest, the most tallest, or the highest peak in the world. So as we have the Everest and the Mount Everest, which is the one of the highest peak in the world, which lies in the Himalaya ranges. Okay, which lies in the Himadri, or the inner ranges. Then we have the Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga is the India's highest peak, which is also lies in the same range. Okay, so that is why this Himalayan range has the loftiest mountain ranges. And means if we talk about the average height of this ranges or these peaks, so we have almost 6,000 meter means average height of peaks are there in this range. Okay, then it is composed of the granite. As I have told you that these fold mountains, they are mainly made up of the sediments which is being brought by the Tethys Sea. So you must be thinking that sediment rock, they are the means the loose deposit rocks are there. So why it was composed of the granite? Because granite is one of the hardest rock is there. But here we have talked about that here, as the granite, the core of just imagine that this is the Himalayan ranges, and the core of the Himalayan ranges is made up of the granite. But the outer part of the Himalayan ranges, they were made of the sedimentary rock. Okay, so next we'll be talking about the Himachal. Himachal is the second. It is the middle ranges, middle range, because it lies between the Himadri and the Shivalik. So that is why it is also called the middle ranges, and it is also called the lesser Himalaya, because the height of the peaks which is there in the lesser in the Himachal, they are less than the inner Himalayas. Okay, so that is why it is called the Himachal or the lesser Himalaya or the middle Himalayas. Okay. Now highly compressed and the altered rocks. Now as I have to these Himalayas ranges are also composed of the compressed and the altered rock. Now highly compressed and the altered rocks are called the metamorphic rock. Now these metamorphic rocks are those rocks which are being transformed because of there are so many intense pressure is there, so many variation of the temperature is there. Because of that there is lot of metamorphic rocks are found in this ranges. Okay. Now next is the average height of this ranges is about 6,700 meter to 4,500 meter. Now here in this ranges, in this middle range, it has been subdivided into three ranges. These are the Pir Panjal range, Dhauladhar range and the Mahabharat ranges. Okay. Now as you can see, the Pir Panjal, there are three ranges are there which are called called as in the some part of the Kashmir and some part of the Himachal. Three ranges are there which are called the Pir Panjal ranges. And then in the Himachal and the Uttarakhand area we have the Dhauladhar range, and then in the Nepal area we have the Mahabharat ranges. Okay. Then the Kashmir and the Kangra and the Kullu valleys are also have in this ranges. Okay. Valleys, what does the valley means? Valleys are these are the lowland area which has been created between any two mountains. Okay. So in the middle ranges we found the Kashmir valley, the Kangra and the Kullu valleys are there in the Himachal Pradesh. Okay. Now next we'll be talking about the Shivalik ranges. Shivalik ranges is the outermost. This is also called the outermost Himalayan ranges. Okay. And okay, so Shivalik ranges are the outermost ranges also, and they are composed of the unconsolidated sediments. Now what does the unconsolidated sediment? Unconsolidated sediments are the loosely deposit sediments which are not cemented. Okay. So now the average height of these ranges is about 900 to 1100 meters, and it is covered with the thick gravel and the alluvium, because most of the rivers they brought sediments along with them, and they have started depositing. They have deposited on their way to the Shivalik ranges. So that is why it is covered with the thick and the gravel and the aluminium. Now here we could find some dunes also. Now what does the dunes means? Dunes are the longitudinal valleys which lies between the Himachal ranges and the Shivalik ranges. Now what does the longitudinal valleys? Longitudinal valleys are those valleys which has been formed between any two mountain ranges. Okay, so those ranges, those valleys are called the dunes. Like our Dehradun is also one of the valley. It is also one of the dune. Apart from it, we have a Patli Dune which is there in the Himachal Pradesh. We also have the Kotli Dune which is there in the Pakistan. Okay. Now apart from all these longitudinal division, we also have one more kind of Himalayas which is known as the Purvanchal Himalayas. Now Purvanchal Himalayas are formed in the easternmost part of our country, because at the Arunachal Pradesh, now there is a gorge was formed. Gorge is also kind of a valley which have a steep sides. Okay, so from here the ranges of the Himalaya, it started bends towards its south, and it covers the eastern part of our country. Okay, so here in this Purvanchal ranges, these composed of the strong sandstone and the sediment rocks again, and here we found the most dense forest also, and which comprises of many valleys. Like here we also have many hills, like here we have the Mizo hills, then Manipur hills and the Naga hills, and the Patkai hills also. Patkai hills is there in the Meghalaya region. Okay, so these are the division which we have discussed on the basis of the longitudinal Now we'll be talking about the division of the Himalayas on the basis of the the demarcation made by the rivers, which which forms from west to east. Now we will talk about the division on the basis from the west to east, which has been demarcated by the river. Now, as you can see, there are many rivers are there. I have made I have drawn here. Like we have on the basis of the demarcation of the rivers, the Himalayan ranges is again divided into 4 ranges. These are the Punjab Himalayas, Kumaon Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas and Assam Himalayas. Now, as you can see here, the Indus River, which flows from the Tibet area. Now, this river and Satluj is one of the tributary of the Indus. Now, the part of the Himalayas which lies in between these two, Indus and the Satluj river, those Himalayas are known as the Punjab Himalayas. Okay, so as I have written also here, you can see from here also that between the Indus and the Satluj Himalayas, the part of the Himalayas which lies is known as the Punjab Himalayas. Now from Satluj river means the part of the Himalayas which lies between the Satluj river and the Kali river. Kali river is also originate from the Nepal, and it goes through from the Uttarakhand and the Nepal border, and then it joins the Ganga river. Okay, so the part of the Himalayas which lies between the Satluj and the Kali river is known as the Kumaon Himalayas. Then from the Kali rivers to the Tista river. Tista river is there in the in the Bangladesh. It flows in the Bangladesh, and between the part of the Himalayas which lies between the Kali river and the Tista river are known as the Nepal Himalayas. Okay. Then we have from the east side we have the Dihang river which flows from the Arunachal Pradesh. So between the Tista river and the Dihang river, the Himalayas are known as the Assam Himalayas. So these are the division which are made on the basis of the demarcation of the river. So as I have made a flow chart here through which you can easily remember that which which Himalayas lies between which rivers. So as I have written here that between Indus and the Satluj, Punjab Himalayas are there. Satluj and Kali rivers, the Himalayas are known as the Kumaon Himalayas, and Nepal Himalayas lies between the Kali and the Tista river, and between Tista and the Dihang river, the Assam Himalayas are there. Okay, so this is all about the Himalayan, the Great Himalayas. Now in next video we'll be mainly talking about the Northern Plains. Thank you.